Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, just got off of Impact Plus with Impact No Surrender. The show took place last night on a Friday night. Didn't have time to get it finished to watch it, so I was able to watch it tonight. Going ahead and run down the review of it here. So we had two pre-show matches. We had Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosas, versus Gisele Shaw. First time ever matchup between these two knockouts. To me, this match should have been on the main card, but it was on the pre-show. But that's fine. Okay, we got a good match to start out with here. Miss Shaw tends to kind of wear out her welcome. She actually used to team with Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green, and she was part of the reason why Chelsea Green left Impact Wrestling. Savannah Evans came out, who's been with Tasha Steelz. She helped Gisele Shaw get the victory on this, so that was kind of unique. Her going up again, having Savannah Evans helping her beat Deonna Purrazzo. But Gisele Shaw getting the victory, I give it 2 3/4 stars. Next up, this match did not need to be on the pre-show. This is the first time ever matchup, which shocked the heck out of me. We had the Octopus Jonathan Gresham going up against Speedball Mike Bailey. Okay, sign me up all day long. We have a striker in Mike Bailey and a submission specialist in Jonathan Gresham. Let's go. This is a really good match, to be honest with you. A lot of mat-based wrestling going on here. Jonathan Gresham getting the victory. I give it 3.5. Our first show on the main card, we had Frankie Kazarian returning to Impact Wrestling, going up against Khan. Khan is part of the design with Diener, Angels, and now Callihan. Callihan was at ringside, same with Callihan. As part of the design, he had to shave his head, and he's kind of been, you can see he's not really all in, but he's trying to be all in kind of deal. This was actually Khan's first ever singles match on national television, which shocked or on pay-per-view. This shocked the hell out of him. Like, duh. He was part of the Ascension in NXT and WWE, and so he was always a tag guy. And of course, Matthew Ringwald on commentary. There's the Von Villains and the Ascension. There's an old school NXT for you. But same with Callihan hitting Khan in the back, causing Frankie Kazarian to get the victory, causing ascension between Callihan and the rest of the design. I give the match 2.5. It was okay. Next up, we have the Impact Knockouts titles on the line, Knockout Tag titles on the line. We had champions of Death Dollz, Rosemary, and Valkyrie going up against the Hex, Allysin K, and Marti Belle. The Hex, one of the greatest women's tag teams out there. Former NWA tag team champions, former Shine tag team champions. But in this case, the Death Dollz was able to beat the Hex, got the victory. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. Next up, we had the Impact Digital Media title on the line in a dot combat match. We've had these before, the Digital Media title. To me, the Digital Media title should have been on the pre-show, because the pre-show was on YouTube, because that's what the Digital Media is. It's on a digital platform. I guess streaming is technically digital, but it could have been a pay-per-view, so it's on typical, but yeah. In the dot combat match, so what this typically has been is different devices, like keyboards, mouses, computers. You beat your opponent with that kind of stuff. Stuff that you would use to get on a .com website with. Yeah, they had 2 remote control cars. Like a little bitty one that's like a 5-year-old would use. It's like, really? Moose punted it out of the ring. Then Joe Hendry had a bigger one. Yeah, and then didn't the remote control was, so he just chucked it into the groin of Moose. And then Moose had a bunch of keys, like the old school keys you take off keyboards, and dump those out. And it's just, and they had like a PS1, the original PS1, the big heavy one. Yeah, it wasn't good. I'm sorry, but it wasn't good. Joe Hendry retained his Digital Media title. If you say Joe Hendry's name, Joe Hendry will appear. Yeah, no, it never happened for me. I don't know why. I give it 2.5 stars. Joe Hendry, you're still your Impact Digital Media Champion. Next up, we had the number 1 contender Fatal 4-Way. Whoever won this will be the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight title. We had PCO, Brian Myers, Heath, and Steve Maclin. Yeah, this was the number 1 contender match. I'm sorry. When I think of Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, either be Josh Alexander or Rich Swann. I don't see any of these 4 as a good matchup for him. PCO got triple teamed to start out with, got thrown under the ring. And then when he comes out from under the ring, he gets attacked by Eddie Edwards. And so with a shovel, I mean literally Eddie Edwards had a shovel and whacked him in the back. So the history of Eddie Edwards and PCO from Ring of Honor and Honor No More continues. Steve Maclin got the victory. So Steve Maclin is now the number 1 contender for the heavyweight title, the winner between Josh Alexander and Rich Swann. I give it 2 3/4 stars. Next up, we had the 6-man tag. We had the Time Machine, which is KUSHIDA, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin. So the Machine Guns teaming up with KUSHIDA, calling themselves the Time Machine, which was a tag team that Alex Shelley and KUSHIDA had in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They actually won the junior heavyweight tag titles. Going up against Bullet Club, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and KENTA. No one is ready for KENTA. This was a hell of a match, though. You had all 6 of these guys flying around. KUSHIDA and KENTA, both former New Japan Pro Wrestling junior heavyweight title champions. Ace Austin and Chris Bay was part of the Super Junior tournament, tag team tournament last year. Machine Guns in New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong champions and Impact Wrestling World Tag Team champions. And then the multiverse of matches, which would be WrestleMania weekend, will have Impact versus New Japan. So yeah, a lot of crossover here. Our Forbidden Door, Bullet Club, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and KENTA getting the victory here. I give it 3 3/4 stars. It was right there close to 4 for me. Really enjoyed it. One of my favorite matches of the night. Next up, we had the Impact Knockout Championship on the line. We had Masha Slamovich, who only can speak in Russian on Impact Wrestling, but when she's on GCW, she speaks perfect English. Going up against Mickie James, the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest women wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. Hardcore country. Match was okay. I wasn't overly excited about this match. The way Mickie was talking in the promo, because she had a thing where if she lost, she was retiring, and her goal was to win the championship. Now that she won the championship, it's like that's gone away. It's still, they've not really saying it. It's like, so she loses now. She's not. It doesn't matter. I don't understand that. But this match was okay. Honestly, I think they're waiting till Rebellion or somewhere and have Deonna Purrazzo take the title off of Mickie James, but that's just my opinion. Mickie James got the victory over Masha Slamovich, the Russian mobster, the Russian whatever she is. She's a hell of a talent, though, don't get me wrong. I mean, her in Game Changer Wrestling versus Nick Gage is going to be freaking awesome. Her losing to Mickie James here was pretty, it was a good match. I give it 2 3/4 stars. But next up, we had the Impact World Heavyweight title line in the main event. We had champion Josh Alexander. He holds 2 Impact Wrestling records. The shortest heavyweight championship run of all time and the longest heavyweight title run of all time. Going up against Rich Swann. Rich Swann was Impact Wrestling champion when the first Forbidden Door happened between AEW and Impact and Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann, title versus title, and Kenny Omega became the Impact Wrestling Championship 2 years ago. Rich Swann has not got a title run since. He struggled to overcome that. He was able to kind of rebound and kind of build himself back up. Here we are in the main event. Rich Swann versus Josh Alexander. Hell of a match. 2 guys that were friends. They're friends first, but they went out and put a hell of a show on. Josh Alexander retaining his title. I gave it 4 stars. Really, really good match. Could be one of the matches of the year for Impact Wrestling. But we have Impact No Surrender if you're new to Impact Wrestling or you haven't followed Impact Wrestling in a minute, typically each month they have a Impact Plus show, or it's also on Fight TV. And then January, April, I think there's like 3 or 4, they have their big pay-per-views. Those are actually, you have to purchase those separately through Fight TV. One of those is Hard to Kill, that was in January. So this month, and we have Impact No Surrender. I think next month, let me see what next month's show is. Alright, so the big shows will be Hard to Kill, the Multiverse of Matches April 1st, Rebellion April 23rd, Slammiversary on, oh, these are last year's dates. So Hard to Kill and Multiverse United is March 30th, Rebellion is April 16th, and then Slammiversary and Bound for Glory. And then on the monthly ones, Impact Special, okay, here we go. We have Sacrifice, which is scheduled for March 24th. And then this was the April one, or the February one. In January, we had Hard to Kill. So last year, on the months, there wasn't a big pay-per-view. They had the monthly ones, and then they had their 4 big ones. But that is the review of Impact No Surrender. The Death Doll still the Impact Knockout Tag Team Champions. Joe Hendry still the Impact Jessicka champion. Steve Maclin, your number 1 contender. Mickie James, still your Impact Knockout Championship champion. Josh Alexander, still your Impact World Heavyweight Championship. Trey Miguel did not have a title match here for the X title. He had the match on Impact Wrestling this week. Was a goodness gracious Monsters Ball match versus Crazy Steve. Now, before the number 1 contender match, we had a little Busted Open was on here with David LaGreca, Tommy Dreamer, and Bully Ray. This is getting just stupid. Bully Ray came back to Impact Wrestling and goes, "I'm a different guy. I've changed. I've done things wrong in the past. I don't want to be that way this time." And yet he became that way this time. Okay? So this whole thing happens with him. I guess I'm Busted Open. Him and Tommy Dreamer been arguing. David LaGreca's in the middle. They had beat your clock matches on Impact this week. Whoever won your match in the shortest period of time got to speak first on the live Busted Open part of No Surrender. So Dave LaGreca comes out, and Tommy Dreamer comes out, Bully Ray comes out. Bully had 60 seconds to say what he wanted. He said 0 in that 60 seconds, and at the very end, "I'm sorry." Tommy Dreamer didn't buy it. Tommy Dreamer was like, "Dude, you're not sorry," whatever. Tommy Dreamer said something, and it pissed off Bully Ray. Bully Ray attacked him all. So we have the same Bully Ray that we had in Aces and Eights. We have the same Bully Ray that was the heel guy back then. And it's just continued. It's just reincarnated what trash we had back then with Bully Ray. Bully Ray does not need to be in the ring right now. No. 2023, we do not need to see Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer matches. They don't even need to be on TV these days. It is not helping Impact Wrestling whatsoever. But hey, they think it is. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so that was the trash part of the show. That could have been fast forward through the last 10 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. But hey, here we are. Alright, that's all I got for Impact No Surrender. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports channel content.